Have you ever thought about what would happen if you poured water on the sun to turn it off? It's an idea that sounds simple enough after all. We use water to extinguish fires here on Earth. But when we look closer at how the sun works, the results are far more surprising than you might expect. First, we need to understand that the sun isn't a fire like we have on Earth. Fires on Earth are chemical reactions that need fuel, oxygen, and heat to keep burning. The sun, however, doesn't rely on oxygen. Instead, it's powered by nuclear fusion, a process where hydrogen atoms combine to form helium, releasing enormous amounts of energy. So, if you poured water on the sun, it wouldn't cool it down or extinguish it. Water is made of hydrogen and oxygen, and here's the twist: the sun uses hydrogen as fuel. By adding water, you're essentially providing more hydrogen for the nuclear fusion reaction, which means you'd actually make the sun burn hotter, not cooler. At the sun's core, temperatures reach around 15 million degrees Celsius. At this temperature, the hydrogen in water wouldn't stop the fusion process. Instead, it would fuel it even further. So, rather than putting the sun out, pouring water on it would act like throwing gasoline on a fire, intensifying its energy. What about the oxygen in the water? On Earth, oxygen is essential for fire, but in the sun's plasma state, the oxygen atoms would simply break apart and mix with the rest of the particles. It wouldn't have the same effect as it does in an earthly fire. In the sun's nuclear fusion, oxygen is just another element floating in the soup of plasma. Interestingly, scientists have considered what would happen if massive amounts of hydrogen were added to the sun. The result? A temporary boost in fusion, which means more energy and a brighter, hotter sun. So, instead of extinguishing it, you're giving it more fuel to burn. Historically, humans have always been curious about how the sun works. Ancient civilizations worshipped the sun, and early scientists believed it might burn like a giant campfire. But today, we know that the sun is essentially a massive nuclear reactor, fueled by an almost endless supply of hydrogen. Pouring water on the sun sounds like a fun thought experiment, but scientifically, it just doesn't work. The sun's nuclear processes are far too powerful for water or any other substance to have an extinguishing effect. It's far beyond anything we can turn off with water. The sun is expected to burn for another 5 billion years before it runs out of fuel and becomes a red giant. No amount of water can stop that timeline. It's one of the most stable and powerful sources of energy in the universe, and nothing we have can shut it down. In conclusion, turning off the sun with water is pure fiction. The sun's energy comes from nuclear fusion, and adding water would only add more fuel to the fire. So, while it's fun to imagine, the science tells us that water would only make the sun burn brighter and hotter.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.